When the rules were set and you saw the time that you were going to have to get a pitch off, what was your initial reaction? Did you feel like you had to change something? Have you practiced it? What are your overall thoughts and feel on that 15 or 20 seconds?
So my overall thought is that it's a little too quick. They did that in the AAA, and then they made the games about 2.5 hours, which is just, it's pretty quick. You'd be shocked to see how quick a 2.5 hour game is. I think we need more fast play rather than, the time of the game. Obviously, it's not a concern in the NFL because there's more happening. So, but that's just my personal opinion, but nobody really cares my personal opinion. I'm going to have to follow the rules just like everybody else. So for me, it's something that I'm going to have to work on a lot in spring training because, I was one of the slower ones on our team. Going to have to shave down that time by about 6 seconds. So it'll be I think it's just going to come second nature. I'll just have to fix a little bit of my routine, figure out what's necessary, what's not necessary. Me and Kyle are going to have to work quick on the pitch call, and we'll be fine come game time. But it is something that I'm probably going to have to work on in spring training games for sure.
So tell us a bit about that. Like, what's that routine? Is you and Cal just kind of take, maybe an hour or two after, practice each day or after some of the games and just, hey, I'm just going to go through my routine and try to speed it up and speed it up and speed it up?
I think just telling him like, hey, we can do the pitch call as quickly as you can think of a pitch call for the next pitch. Send it. I'll shake it off or acknowledge it. And then for me, it's like, okay, that's already, we already shaved down 1 second of trying to, get ready and then get the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I can get it when I'm coming back to the mound. And then for me, it's just going to be a matter of, in live BPs trying to like essentially have a coach say, all right, that's 15 seconds and trying to figure out, okay, like when I do my normal routine, where does that land me? What's maybe unnecessary trying to slow the game down and what's something that I absolutely have to do to make sure that I get to that 15-second mark.
It's clear pitchers and catchers put the most stress on their bodies throughout a game. And with the game being sped up, has that changed your off-season training, your conditioning? Have you altered anything, or is it more just going out there and getting a feel?
I think it's more just getting a feel for it. I've been in the big leagues for most of the last 6 years and haven't really had to acknowledge the pitch clock. And so for me, it's just going to be something different. And I'm just going to have to get in games and practice it in live BPs a couple of times, kind of make sure that I have a coach saying like, all right, that's 12 seconds or that's 13 seconds or, that's 20 and, you just had 2 balls called on you. So I think it's just something that you got to practice in a game-like situation. And then, that's what spring training is for. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to have 7 or 8 outings, and we can see just exactly how far or how quickly 15 seconds comes in a real game, and then we'll go from there.
Hey, so there are a couple rules being implemented for the 2023 season. Obviously, pitch clock, which we've talked to you about, that one's going to affect you most. But there are also limited pickoff attempts, bigger bases, which will probably affect you the least. And then the shift, which is it'll affect pitchers. It's mostly for, obviously, position players, but it's still something you need to be aware of, right, defensively. What do you think overall of the group of rules being introduced this year?
Yeah, I think they're just trying to get more action in the game, which I think is something that we could probably use. We've kind of gotten to this point where the walk, the strikeout, and the homer are the ultimate 3 plays in baseball, and that's what you're judged on most as a pitcher. It's what you're judged most on as a position player. So we've put a premium on it on both sides, and then that's kind of what you're looking for. And at this point, maybe it can get a little bit boring. You can have, an hour of game where only, 5 or 6 balls are put into play because the pitcher's, striking a couple guys out. Maybe he walks a guy. And the stolen bases, statistics have said that it's not worth the risk of stealing bases for what happens if you get thrown out. So analytics have driven us to think like stay on base. Maybe somebody hits a 2 or 3 run homer. That's kind of the way to play. Maybe with the pitching being so as good as it is now, maybe the homers aren't as much in play. Maybe if we can steal a base and move a guy over, the stolen base is an exciting play. Everyone in the stands is watching it. It's usually bang, bang. And that's why we have the bigger bases. And so, maybe it will increase. It should increase a lot of stolen base attempts. At least we'll see if it drives more stolen bases, a little more action. And even as a pitcher, I do at sometimes feel bad when I throw a pitch down the middle, guy whacks a ball, and it feels like it's in right field, and that's an automatic single. And the second baseman's just standing there, catches on a line, and starts throwing it around. You can just tell from a hitter's perspective, it's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm hitting the ball on a line where there hasn't been somebody for the last 150 years of baseball. Now there's somebody standing there. So, that'll be something that we have to take into account. But I'm more of a fly ball pitcher anyway, so hopefully it won't, impact my game too much. But it's another one of those things where it's the rule, and, there's nothing I can do about it other than just adjust.
Paul, I do love the idea of you feeling bad when someone hits into the shift that you're pitching to.
I mean, I'm excited, but I'll go back and look at it and be like, well, that
bummer
wasn't
for
a
that
line out,
guy.
but technically, like, it sucks for that guy. But I do need to be a little bit better because that was a line drive right at somebody.
Yeah.
But I think over the course of the season, it pretty much evens out. I'll give up a ground ball that goes the opposite way where there's nobody standing there. So overall, I kind of thought that the shift worked itself out, the way it's supposed to. But we'll see how it goes. And if they're looking for more action, maybe we'll get a little bit more action.